This is Ayman Khan here for Boxing Social in association with Betfred with the one and only Frank Warren. We've just had the announcements of Joyce versus Joyce-Parker. Frank, your reaction?
I thought it really went well, the press conference. I think it's a great fight for the fans, a great fight for boxing. It's competitive. The styles will gel to make it a bit of a classic. You've got to take your hat off to Joe Joyce. He's ranked number 1 in the BO. He doesn't need to be doing this fight, but he's doing it. He's fighting the number 2. That shows you what he's all about. And the winner has got a great prize at the end of the day, because the winner will be in a position to fight as a mandatory the winner of the Joshua and Usyk fight that takes place on the 20th of August.
Frank, a lot of talk in that press conference about the protracted talks that led to the fight finally being announced. Can you tell us from your side what the delay was and leading up to the eventual announcement?
It was a load of piddling around. It was like Joe jumping, agreeing to deal with us. As I read the text out saying that the deal was done. He then said he got a better offer and went elsewhere, and he had nowhere else to go anyways. He had to come back and make the fight, and we made it. And the rest doesn't matter. It's all bullshit at the end of the day. What matters is now it is on, and that's what we look forward to.
Normally, cross-promotional fights happen when they're ordered or mandated. This is one that isn't the case this time around, which is good for boxing, Frank. You and other promoters working cross-promotionally to get the fights that fans want to see. So can we expect to see more of that?
Well, I'm sure we will see more, but it is good what's happened. But to be quite honest, where was Joyce-Parker going to go? He wasn't the number 1, he's the number 2. So he steps up, and you've got, as I said, and I keep saying it, Joe Joyce didn't need to make this fight, and that's what we've done anyway. We've got it on now, and as you say, he went across the sky, so we've got it on. Everybody's cooperated to make it happen, and the fans will benefit from that.
A lot of talk about the rematch clause there. Can you just break down what it is and any other machinations of the deal?
Well, the machinations, if Joe Joyce gets beat, there's a rematch.
Can you tell us about who might feature on the undercard, Frank?
We're going to announce it next week, but we've got a cracking undercard, a really good undercard that I'm sure you'll like.
Can't wait to hear that. Frank, let's get your thoughts on a couple of other things. First of all, a lot of whispers about a potential Fury versus Chisora trilogy fight. Frank, can you let us in on that?
I've not had any conversations with Derek, so at the moment there's nothing to comment on.
We'll wait for the news on that then. Have you seen the pictures of Deontay Wilder back in the gym, returning, anticipating his return?
As well, and I like Deontay. He's a bit of a warrior. I mean, that fight him and Tyson had was an epic, and it took two fighters to do what they did, to make a fight as great as that. And I'm glad that he's back. I hope he's well, and it'd be a great addition to the heavyweight scene, which is really lively at the moment. And there's some great fights to be made with some of our British fighters with him.
A lot of people waiting on some news on Beterbiev and Yarde. Where are we on that as well, Frank?
Beterbiev and Yarde, that's more or less a done deal. Top Rank and us, we're all good for that. It is the mandatory anyway, so no problem with that. And I'm hoping we should be in a position to announce that fairly soon. We've had a little bit of issues with venues and whatever, but anyway, we should be pretty much on it next week.
And then in terms of, it was supposed to be Tommy Fury and Jake Paul. That didn't happen. Jake Paul now finds himself without a date, without an opponent. Is there potential for that fight to happen again down the line?
Well, I hope so. I mean, it's a shame it just didn't happen. I really do hope that it will take place.
Daniel Dubois, just stick on him first of all. A potential opponent. Shane McGuigan has said that he'd like to see Dylan Whyte as well. He's got 3 offers on the table. One offer being one from BT Sports and Queensbury Promotions. Can you tell us first of all about Dylan Whyte, where maybe those talks are leading to?
No, listen. I want the best for I want the best for Daniel Dubois. He's worked very hard, and we work very hard to get him where he's at. And I just want him to be in big fights. And Dillian Whyte, whoever is in the opposite side, it's got to be that type of opponents to get the best out of him. And I want him in real competitive fights that are going to show us what he's about.
Frank, just going back to the pay-per-view for Joyce and Parker, price point, have we got a price point for it yet?
No, I'm not sure what they're pricing it at yet.
Frank, we're very close as well to the Usyk AJ2 rematch, which will have implications for the winner of Joe Joyce and Joyce-Parker. First of all, can I get your thoughts on the rematch between Usyk and AJ?
Well, it is an intriguing fight, and it's all about, has AJ got anything left in the tank? Can he change his tactics? Can he impose himself on Usyk? Can he do that? I look at the fight he had against Ruiz the first time, and Ruiz obviously stops him. The second fight, he got on his bike, and Ruiz obviously, we all know, didn't train very hard for that fight. He was fat as a pig, and he got his title back, outboxed him. He ain't going to be able to get on his back foot against this guy. The only way for me that he can win this fight, he's got to impose himself, jump on him, and he's got to hurt him. I genuinely think that Usyk will beat him again, and I think that I wouldn't be surprised if he stops him.
We can talk about potential of how good the pay-per-view does in terms of numbers. 700,000 has been bounded about. What do you think the reach for pay-per-view will be, Frank?
Well, it's obviously a bigger reach than being on the zone. That's why the Saudi Arabians have put it on Sky.
Final question on this one. You've seen fighters come and go, and fighters lose, fighters win, build back up. But what do you think about Anthony Joshua as an asset, as a commodity, as a fighter? If he were to lose, where does his stock lie then?
His stock's fallen already, and if he loses, it'll fall further. You know, he'll be down that pecking order. And it's whether he wants to fight on or not. If he gets beat, will he want to fight on or not? And if he does, he's going to be fighting the likes of a Joe Joyce or a Dubois. That's the type of opponents he'll have to do to get some credibility back if he gets beat.
Final question on that. Would the Fury fight still be there? Is that always still there regardless of the result?
Well, that's up to Tyson. I mean, Tyson's the man. Tyson is head and shoulders above everybody, and that's how it is.